Yo, what's good, people? So July 12th, the showdown we've been waiting for, Saul Canelo Alvarez, Erislandy Lara, taking place at a 155-pound catch weight, no titles on the line. This is just two of probably the best junior middleweights in boxing today, arguably. And it's a fight that the boxing community has been asking for and has been looking forward to. And I gotta say props to Canelo Alvarez for taking this fight through, I guess his team, quote unquote, or his promoters saying that they didn't want this fight for him. I guess that's a way to promote this fight, but I think, this is really a fight, like I said, that the boxing fans have been asking for. Canelo Alvarez is being put out there at, he's a Mexican star, don't get me wrong, but I still don't think he's made that crossover leap, even in a fight with Floyd Mayweather, which he lost. And now he's stepping in the ring with a fighter like Erislandy Lara, who has really come up as hard as you can imagine any fighter coming up, as far as competitively and personally. There's no secret that Lara is a defective from Cuba, and if you read up on him and you see his story, and they mentioned it as well in the first episode of the All Access that premiered this past Saturday, it goes into detail as far as him trying to defect, it failing, him being jailed, him getting out, and him doing it a second time and succeeding, leaving 2 children behind. Comes here, has already got the amateur pedigree, jumps right into the pros, and I would say more so than any of the other Cubans that are fighting professionally right now, even more than Guillermo Rigondeaux, he's fought the best competition out of everybody. Because, I mean, if you look at his resume, I think he's fought better junior middleweights than Canelo Alvarez has, even though they share 2 opponents. With Angulo and Austin Trout, who both are respected junior middleweight. You match these guys up, man, it's a tough fight to really predict, because on paper, when you look at it, you can give reasons why Lara should win this fight, and then at the same time you can say the same for Canelo. Canelo's been in there with the best in the world, you know what I'm saying? So some people would think, well, he's seen what the best can do, and now he's fighting somebody who isn't as good as Floyd Mayweather, so he should be experienced enough to fight a guy like that. And and you can make that argument. And then with Erislandy Lara, you can make the argument as well that he's fought more consistent top junior middleweights, and when you look at what he's done to the similar opponents, you got to think he did get dropped by Angulo twice, but you also have to look at what Angulo's face looked like, and he quit in the fight because he couldn't see out of the eye. You look at the Austin Trout fight as well, and Austin Trout gave Canelo all he could handle, and Erislandy Lara really, for the most part, dominated Austin Trout, or really just put on a class performance. I mean, showing his footwork and showing how he can just like hit from a lot of different angles, and has really good defense. He's tough to hit clean. Now, here's the thing. For Canelo Alvarez, and I thought of this going into the Floyd Mayweather fight, was he had to trap Floyd, cut the ring off on him, make Floyd, or eliminate Floyd standing in the center of the ring. Because Canelo I guess he thought in his mind that he could outbox Floyd Mayweather, stupidly. But I think in order for him to have success against Erislandy Lara, he has to cut the ring off on him. He has to not let Erislandy Lara control the distance, pump that jab, or let's just say it this way, and not let him be the general in the ring. Canelo's got to be the general in the ring in this fight. Where Angulo had success was he pressured Erislandy Lara. Now the thing with Angulo is he's kind of a guy that will take a shot or two to give a shot or two. Canelo is not like that. Canelo is he's somewhat of a boxer puncher, you know, where he needs a stationary target to get off and throw off his combinations, and he's got nice combinations, don't get me wrong, you know, and I think he's obviously got good power. I don't think one punch knockout power against a legit 154 guy, but you know, it's sort of like just a breaking down of the opponent round by round by round. Where Erislandy Lara, I think, flourishes is, like I mentioned, his footwork, man. Austin Trout mentioned it in a recent video when they were asking him about the fight, and he said he has ridiculous footwork for a guy who is in a way an athlete on his own, man. The way he fights. I mean, I've gone back and I've only become familiar with Lara in the last couple of years, but I've gone back and just watched him more, and I've seen him just develop as a professional, where he still uses some of his amateur pedigree, but you know, some of the Cubans, they stay stuck in that amateur style, and it gets a little repetitive and boring. He can mix it up. He can, and even in a way where it's been a negative to him, where he's been clipped or hurt or dropped, I think he's adjusted in every fight he's had. And even in the Trout fight, where it was really a lot of his footwork and him just picking his angles and being precise and consistent with it, and Trout never got comfortable. I think he has to apply the same approach to Canelo Alvarez. I think he needs to really just be, like I said, the general in the ring, make Canelo fight on the back foot, and again, Canelo's a spot fighter too. Like, he seems to take rounds off. Lara can't let that happen. Lara has to be the one to make Canelo fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, make Canelo throw his hands, because I think that's where Lara is going to be effective, where he can catch him coming in with some counter shots or you know, uppercuts. Because the one thing with Canelo is we haven't seen him take a solid shot from a junior middleweight who can hit, and Lara can hit, man. I mean, I think we're kind of underestimating how hard he can hit. He's not a one-punch knockout guy either, but look, he's dropped Austin Trout. He made Angulo's head look like a watermelon. So with Canelo Alvarez, I mean, I don't think he's got a glass chin at all either. I mean, he's been hit, but he's in with a guy who can box and can hit too, and can move. You know what I'm saying? And I've watched both guys, man, and I've taken into account the experience factor, and I take into account what flaws each guy has, and the more I come back to it, it leads me to Erislandy Lara, man. I look at what he could do in the ring, and I go back to the Floyd Mayweather fight, you know, and the reason I go back to that fight is because that's in a way what he's gonna have to deal with Erislandy Lara. Not as good, you know what I'm saying. But again, if Canelo were a pressure fighter, I think Lara, in a way, would be in trouble, because I think that's where you can get Lara in a way, like how you can trouble Mayweather. You pressure him and make him fight, get him out of his rhythm, and not let him get comfortable. If Canelo lets Lara get comfortable and lets him pump the jab and makes Canelo just like lunge and try to get shots off, he's gonna be in trouble, man. So the way I keep picturing this fight in my head, and I keep coming back to Lara just picking Canelo apart, man. I think Canelo, against guys that are stationary, that will sit in front of him and will give him enough space and enough room for him to just wail off on him, I don't see Erislandy Lara letting him do that, man. And I think Lara is a well-conditioned fighter. I think if Canelo does have enough power to catch Lara and Lara be on the wobblies. Another intangible in this fight is, I honestly think going into this fight that Lara is going to be the hungrier of the two. This is, in a way, an Ike Corte versus Oscar De La Hoya type of fight for Canelo Alvarez. This fight can really put him over the top with the fans. And I don't discredit him and anything like that. And you won't see videos of me like really like shitting on the guy. I just think for this style, man, like based on what I have seen, he's gonna have trouble. You know, and I think Lara is just a guy in general that most guys would stay away from if you're a money maker like Canelo Alvarez is. In a loss, does this mean Canelo Alvarez's brand is destroyed? No, I don't think so. Boxing in general, man, in the past, fighters would take L's and they would still go on like these crazy streaks and develop, you know, and just become better fighters. I think this is Lara's fight to win. I think this is a style that is going to give Canelo trouble 8 or 9 times out of 10. He needs guys that are in front of him to really get off, and the proof is in the pudding with the guys that he's faced. Lara, for what it's worth, I still think he's going to be in the same position that he's going to be in from where he maybe in a higher bracket, but I think it's going to be tough for him to get top quality fights because he's going to be a guy you don't want to fight. And that's why I give Canelo Alvarez credit for taking this fight. I just, you know, I think he thinks he could beat Erislandy Lara. You know, I personally just don't think he's going to. But and what I'm afraid of also as well is the judging in this fight. You know what I'm saying? Because if it goes to the scorecards, man, and because I don't think it's gonna be a total domination. Don't get me, you know, don't get it twisted. This type of style is gonna trouble him 9 times out of 10, and I would not be surprised to see Lara drop Canelo, and vice versa. You know, and that's why it's taken me a while to really think about who'd win. But every time I kept playing this fight in my head, it always brings me back to Erislandy Lara. So I have Erislandy Lara winning. I'm gonna go against the grain here, man. I'm gonna say Erislandy Lara wins a late round stoppage. Something tells me, man, that I just think he's the hungrier of the two. I think Canelo Alvarez is taking this fight like he wants to prove something, but I just think Lara just wants it, you know, and you could see it. And I think he's got the skills, he's got the pedigree. I think he's a better boxer than Canelo Alvarez, man, and I think that's going to play out in this fight. So, there you have it, man. I got Erislandy Lara winning this fight. So, let me know what you think. Make your prediction in the comments. So, as I always say, subscribe, hit the links, and I'll be back either July, well, I'll try to be back July 13th to really recap the fight. So as I always say, subscribe, hit the links, and I'll be back soon.